So there has been a ton of noise around Cathie Wood and ARK Invest the past few months. They have had a terrible year so far, but are finally starting to recover and gain some steam again. But unfortunately, before this latest run, they had record outflows of money leaving the fund. And ARK's trading appeared to be erratic at best, and it drew the ire of most of Wall Street and even Jim Cramer, who likes to point out everything ARK does that he would do differently. So is ARK a fraud and just a flash in the pan that got lucky with Tesla? Or is there more to the story that the suits don't want you to know about? Well, I will give you the truth on what is really going on, and I will do it all without the needless hype or doom and gloom that is everywhere right now. And that is why you are subscribed to this channel, and the only thing I ask for in return is for you to hit that like button, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as you guys know, we have no sponsors on this channel, and I do not put ads in my videos, so consider signing up for the Market Insiders instead, where we have 3 courses, 70 plus educational videos, and too much to list here, so I'll put that information at the end of the video. But don't sign up until the first because Patreon charges weird, and don't worry about it if you do sign up. I'll take care of you. I just wanted you to know up front that it's weird. So to really answer the question of if ARK is a fraud or something the suits don't want you to know about, let's start with the facts surrounding ARK that are creating the narrative we are hearing about today. So ARK saw outflows from the fund start in February, pick up a lot of steam in March and April, starting to kind of slow down but still outflowing in May, and so far in June there seems to still be money outflowing, but it's much slower than the hemorrhaging that occurred earlier this spring. And ARK's performance during that same time has significantly lagged the overall market. But ARK is not in a liquidity crisis as some have claimed. ARK has also not significantly altered their strategy to try to appease investors and attract capital. Now yes, the rapid outflow of funds required Cathie Wood and her team to do some trading they would not have ordinarily done to cover the outflows, combined with the stocks they own dropping so rapidly. But that was a response to a unique set of market conditions, not a change in overall strategy. And then we have the Cramers of the world offering their opinions as well. And he is quick to point out what he would do differently, and he does have some experience. He has managed a fund before, so he does know the business very well. And I totally get it, guys. I don't like half of his takes either, and sometimes he sounds like a Wall Street hedge fund manager who thinks he's better than all of us. But there are some times he does give some very valuable insight into how the big Wall Street money thinks, which is important if you want to truly understand why the market moves the way it does, because it makes absolutely no sense otherwise. So he does have some credibility in what he says some of the time. The problem? Cathie also has worked in the business for decades and knows all the tricks he is talking about and knows how to run a fund the traditional way. But Cathie has also repeatedly stated that she set out not to start another traditional fund, but to create a fund that is different and is essentially a better version of the traditional fund that innovates and adapts better to the changing nature of companies. I think we can all agree that the business cycle has quickened, and the pace of innovation is at a point we could only dream of in the early 2000s. It's incredible. So her fund is by design going to perform differently from almost every other fund out there. So let's look at her performance over the past 5 years against those other funds. And as you can see, over the 5-year span, ARK has not only crushed other funds in its category with a 48% return versus a 28% return, it has destroyed the overall market by a count of 48% versus 18% for the market. Oh, and remember, there are so many funds that do not and have not beaten the 18% return of the S&P 500, much less ARK Invest overall return of 48%. And keep in mind, it wasn't all roses and sunshine. ARK had a negative year in 2008 where they lost a lot of money. So it's not just a product of the extended bull run. They did have declines very similar to what we are seeing this year, and they have still returned 48%. So why is everybody all over her and the fund? And why are we seeing articles and all kinds of other stuff pointing to a liquidity crisis or a failed experiment or even alluding to fraud if the performance of the past 5 years has been stellar? Well, the answer is simple. She is breaking new ground on the fund game, and anytime there is innovation, those that are behind are not going to like it. Look, even if we don't like Wall Street and their tactics, and I don't think any of us do, there is kind of a code per se, or a way of doing business that everyone on Wall Street kind of adheres to. Kind of like an honor among thieves or something like that. You know, this is how we do it on Wall Street. But anytime someone disrupts an industry, no matter what the industry is, everyone brushes it off as a fad and a flash in the pan instead of the future, and by the time they figure it out, the innovative company is so far ahead that all of the old guard cannot and will not survive. Some might, but most of them won't. Trust me, when you are disrupting an industry that hands out hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses, and it's kind of a golden goose that hasn't changed much in a long time, they will do everything they can to discount what you are doing. That $60+ billion or whatever the heck it was last year of inflow she received came at the expense of the other funds who played by the old rules. They will not take that sitting down because they feel their rules and their way of doing business is what is, best for everyone, including us little guys. So the fear mongering will start and the bad mouthing and all that sort of stuff, and it eventually gets to a point of kind of implying fraud. So is ARK a fraud? The short answer is no. But ARK is in uncharted waters, which means those waters will be choppy. You cannot get a risk-free 48% annual return on your money. 10% with low risk, I can buy that return. 48%, there's not a chance. But for those looking for a higher return, but do not have the time or the skills to pick stocks like the market insiders do, but you do have the stomach to endure the down periods like earlier this year, then ARK Invest may be a place to consider parking some of your money. Now, if only she can figure out how to reduce the losses on these down cycles, she may blow the entire fund industry up completely, and that would be a good thing. And if you don't have a defined plan for all your stocks, or you don't know how to create a plan or value a stock, we can help you with your planning, as there is a course in the Market Insiders private group dedicated to that, along with creating an infinite money loop, and other courses available as well, along with live weekly Q&As where you can ask me absolutely anything, a great Discord group, tons of exclusive videos, downloads, and more, all for the price of a meal for two at McDonald's. Just consider it a cheap date. So check that out, it's the first link in the description. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.